Get ready with me while I tell you all the things I would and would not recommend to future brides. Me and my husband got married almost 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to just go through the things that I would recommend and the things I would not recommend to brides, because this will probably help you in the long run. The first thing I would recommend when it comes to weddings is the wedding itself. A lot of early talk that me and my husband had was eloping. When we got engaged back in 2023, that was like our first idea, was just to elope and do something really small and not do a wedding. And a lot of people elope for many different reasons, and by all means, if that's what you want to do, go do it. But even leading up, like the last couple months, probably the last 5-6 months leading up to the wedding, I got really, really stressed out, and I would tell all my friends, like, don't get married, just elope. Don't have a wedding, just elope. But by wedding day, I would say get married. Me and my husband literally say every day, like, if we can get married, like, get married every single day, we would do it every single day. It was the best day of our entire lives. It was so much fun. It was absolutely perfect. We couldn't have asked for a better wedding. It was like a party. It was so much fun. I loved every moment of it. I didn't have one bad thing to say about how it turned out. So I would recommend having the wedding. It's a memory that you will have for the rest of your life, and you won't regret it. The next thing that I would recommend is to have a unplugged ceremony, and not just an unplugged where you have the little sign, but we actually confiscated everybody's phones for our ceremony. So, because even when you put up a sign like, oh, this is an unplugged ceremony, people will still record and still, take their phones out, and it's disrespectful because they're not honoring your wishes. But I would just confiscate the phones, take the problems away, and confiscate phones and have a completely unplugged ceremony. The reason I liked this a lot is because even though there were pictures and stuff going on and everything got posted, our ceremony was truly private, and the people who were there got to enjoy it, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't come, you didn't get to see or hear our vows or things like that, like very private, intimate moment. It is something we'll cherish because it is private, and it was private. And I really am so glad we confiscated phones in the long run, because we went back and forth saying we were going to do it, we weren't going to do it, and I 10 out of 10 recommends confiscating phones, because it's something that the people who were there get to have that memory, and me and my husband get to have that memory, and nobody else does. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else can put their opinion on anything of that sacred moment. This may be an obvious one, but recommendation would be to have a really good wedding planner. I had a phenomenal wedding planner. I couldn't have asked for a better planner. She made my wedding day completely easy. I think I got told maybe 100 times, you are the easiest bride I've ever worked with in my life. And it's because my wedding planner made it that way. Like, my wedding was literally a breeze. I didn't have to worry about anything. I was sitting there. I think I ate an entire box of Cheez-Its like all day long. Because everything was so perfect. I didn't have to worry about anything. I wasn't worried about things getting set up. I wasn't worried about timing of things. She handled literally everything for me, so I did not have to stress or be worried about it. So I would highly recommend hiring a really, really good wedding planner, doing your research beforehand, and hiring someone that wants to take on everything, even leading up to like table charts and stuff like that. I did the main table charts, and then I left the rest to her. Like, I left everything to her, and she handled everything. I think my last recommendation, or like pro of mine and my husband's wedding, was having food available all day. A lot of weddings I've been to, I have been hungry like the whole time because of the food choices. We had a really good cook. But we also had catering we had like a lot of choices during our cocktail hour. So we did like a Hispanic themed cocktail hour. So we had like ceviche and fruit bowls and vegetable cups and shrimp tacos, chicken tacos, oysters. Like, we had so much food because I just did not want people to be hungry waiting for the dinner, you know? So we had a lot of options. And then we also had like a milkshake bar, which I thought was really, really cool. And then we had our dinner, obviously, at the reception. And then afterwards, like during the send-off, we did like a bunch of wings because that's Travis's favorite food. So we did wings to include like his portion of it in there. And people loved the wings. Like, that was definitely a hit because everyone had been drinking, and it kind of just like at the end of the night and you're hungry. And some people, they danced the entire wedding, so they didn't even eat their dinner. So the wings were just like their dinner. So it was helpful. So I would recommend doing that. Okay, this is my last recommendation. My last recommendation would be having something for kids if you are going to have kids. So we didn't know kids, but we did have our siblings because they're our siblings, obviously, and we both have younger siblings. So we included them, and we made sure that there was things for them to do. So one of the things that we had was a bounce house at our wedding, which I loved having this because it was fun for them, and it kept them distracted. Literally, like, while the parents were drinking, having a good time, they were just right outside at this huge bounce house. So I think this is a good thing if you have a wedding, a kid-friendly wedding, or just a couple kids. It was really worth it. We also had, like I said, in our cocktail hour, we had a milkshake bar. So while we had like a normal bar, like for alcoholic drinks for adults, we also had the milkshake bar for the kids. And we also had mocktails, like a mocktail section for kids, just so they can feel included. Because it was just our siblings and like our nieces, but we have our nieces and nephews, but we have a lot of them. So there was probably 10 kids total. So it was like a hit, and you don't have to pay for like a full service. You can pay for like a certain amount, and I think I paid up for 25 people, which I've seen even adults end up having some milkshakes. They were really good. So yeah, I would recommend having stuff for them to do just to keep them distracted so they're not interrupting their parents or just interrupting your wedding in general. Now, for the things that I would not recommend, I would not recommend being overly stressed, especially about weather. I was stressed about the weather, and I was checking the weather app every single day, literally letting it consume me. I would not recommend that. You can't control the weather. So if you're planning on doing an outdoor wedding, just have an alternative option so you're not stressed out. Like, you can't control the weather. That's God. It's not in your hands. So don't let it ruin your day or ruin the process of the marriage. Another thing I would not recommend is getting too drunk at your wedding. I'm so happy I didn't get too drunk. Remember my wedding, and I remember every second of it, and I'm so excited. Or even getting too drunk the night before, because I know a lot of people do that. I actually went up to our venue a couple days before. I think I spent 5 days there total. So I had my bridesmaids come up, and we were able to spend time together, hang out beforehand, like the couple of days leading up before. So people got really drunk a couple of days before the wedding and stuff like that. And it made, I guess, not the want to get super drunk at the wedding. Does that make sense? I mean, I would recommend this because it's a day, like I said, you'll remember for the rest of your life, and you actually want to remember it and not be sick from the night before or just sick the day of in general. The last thing I would not recommend is trying to please everybody. You can't please everybody. This is something that I was stressed out about leading up to the wedding because I was trying to make sure everyone else was happy over my own happiness and my wishes and my husband's wishes. We were trying to make sure everyone else had an easy day, and it was taking away from us. So don't try to please everybody. If they ask you things that you have already stated you're not doing or not having at your wedding, stick to your guns and don't go back on it. And that is it. I hope this was helpful to somebody.